Blockchain is a decentralized public database. This means it is stored across many different systems in many different locations. Blockchain is typically known for being the infrastructure running Bitcoin and was discovered in 2008 by Satoshi Nakamoto. However, shortly after, it became clear that blockchain could be used for much more. Industries including security, financial, and in this instance the music industry, are now working on utilizing blockchain technology. A key factor is the ledger's transparency, as it is completely accessible for anyone to view at any moment. The use of a decentralized database removes the need for central authorities such as banks and other intermediary services to store data that could easily be compromised. By utilizing smart contract technology, blockchain could highly benefit many industries. Smart contracts can store huge amounts of metadata, where the information can continue to be added at any point in the future, but not edited. Once all the parties involved in the contract have agreed with the contractual terms, payments or assets can be shared with ease. The ease of payments is another beneficial factor of blockchain technology, as it allows quick payments to be made anywhere in the world for a vastly reduced fee. This would introduce real-time micropayments into many industries, unlike most systems today. The current process takes a prolonged period of time and charges a much higher fee than what blockchain technology could offer. So how exactly does blockchain work? The systems store information across various locations, and each piece of information is known as a block. These blocks then create links to other blocks in chronological order, creating a chain. Using cryptography, the decentralized ledger is virtually impossible to hack or corrupt, unlike most methods of data storage used today. This video will explore blockchain technology, providing an insight into its uses within the music industry and how it could shape the industry's future.
Blockchain is obviously something that is very new and is being discussed quite a lot in the industry at the moment. My understanding is that it's a sort of an open source ledger technology that's been devised by numerous different people and organisations. To my mind, it's still unclear as to how blockchain will operate in the music industry. Obviously, there is some potential for it, particularly for musicians and songwriters who are working together, and they are maybe creating a work where they have an understanding of who's writing what. All of that will be accessible and open.
Specifically to the music industry, it might be very, very helpful, especially for two issues. So it could be helpful for the creation of an international database, which would be decentralized. And also, it's a very powerful tool in order to increase the transparency in the value chain and in the payment throughout the music industry, because at the moment there are a lot of issues with lack of transparency and things like that.
Those that benefit are, one hopes, the people that deserve to benefit from it. The creators, the owners of the rights, those people who should be being remunerated correctly. Those that won't benefit from it will be those that have perhaps created a business out of being the middleman, gatekeeper, if you like. It could be, as I explained earlier, where a local lyricist has put a new lyric to an older song and has not obtained permission and is enjoying a percentage of the revenue that old song is generating. They will certainly be losing out from a clear, transparent new system. So any sort of level of, let's say, abuse is going to be eradicated. It will certainly be exposed. Whether it will be eradicated, I guess, is another matter. So, yeah, as I say, I hope that those that will benefit are those that have the ability to generate and create new works and deserve to be remunerated for them.
Okay, who benefits and who doesn't? The ones who are gonna benefit are the ones who benefit from transparency and doing things in the right way. So if we want to be utopistic and, if we want to be kind of thinking in a good way, everyone would benefit. But then, as you know, some industry bodies kind of, they benefit not from a situation which is not transparent. So this is the tricky question. It's like, it's not even the technology, but do we want the transparency? And then which kind of level of transparency do we want? Because of course, if we want everything transparent, there are some not so nice sides as well, which would be everyone could see what Ed Sheeran earned from whatever thing, and I'm not 100% sure that Ed Sheeran is willing to open up his wallet, you know what I mean? So there are various levels of transparency. And at the same thing, if you want to make a deal, because if you and me are making a deal and then I'm making a deal with another person, it's like it's against there should be some competition, because if you manage to make a better deal with me, and then instead I manage to make a better deal with someone else, if everything would be completely open, that someone else says, oh, but you made her a better price, you know what I mean? So I want the better price too. So there should be still some bargaining and things like that. But then compared to the situation at the moment, for sure, it would be better and people will benefit from literally transparency. It's just a matter of ethics and how people actually work,
When you're being paid for services rendered, be that the ownership of your music or another job that you've done for somebody, and you're getting paid in something which is not tangible, it begs a lot of questions. How do you convert Bitcoin into something, or any cryptocurrency, into a coffee or a sandwich at McDonald's? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Perhaps all these establishments will take cryptocurrencies, but until that point, I'm still quite old-fashioned in terms of wanting to see some cash and use a credit card.
Well, with what regards music, we've got our colleagues at Jack with Vogan, and they're really doing something. Of course, they're working. They've got different things. They've got this kind of thing that is called Meta, and then there's Jack and all these kind of contracts, but they're doing very, very well. Then there's Benji Rogers with .blockchain that is kind of controversial on one sense, because what he wants to achieve is that he wants to create a new format, and then it's based on blockchain. And he might succeed, which I hope he will, because doing like that, a lot of problems will not be here anymore. But on the other hand, creating a new format, he wants to create a monopoly. So I'm not 100% sure, but I told him already that people would be willing to accept the .bc only, because it's like a right management 2.0, what happened with the back in the CD era and the digital files. But then, I don't know, the good thing is that the people need to experiment. And then, of course, some experiment will be successful, some won't, but this doesn't mean that people do not have to try and make the difference. Then there are a lot of services that use kind of blockchain. Also, there's this streaming service that is named Superpass that they have got a completely different business model, which is essentially you subscribe to an artist channel for £1 per month, and then that pound is divided exactly according to how much you stream those songs, and the artist gets all the money. So it's not like Spotify. And they have got in the back end some blockchain, because of course, in order to better divide money and these things like that. But then it's kind of experimental. Then what else in the music? Well, of course, not only that, there are a lot of. The thing is that there's Blockwork as well, which is Phil Berry, and he was part of the Ujo team, but then their path just divided, let's put it like that. And so he started his new startup. And also there's still Ujo Music, they're still doing something, and they should release something soon, like in July or in August, something a little bit more commercial, not like the experiment that we did. But the thing is that there are a lot of people who are interested in blockchain and are also trying to implement blockchain in something that they are already doing. So it's not a matter of just having amazing startups who are absolutely 100% blockchain oriented, but then, we see also Spotify, who just acquired a blockchain company, and Media Chain, if I'm not wrong, yeah. Then PRS with CISAC and ASCAP, that they are doing experiments. So it's nice because there's some hype, there's some movement, and it's nice that people start to do some experiment, because the technology is not ready yet. And we need to test it to understand the potentials. I think that something amazing will be done with blockchain, because literally the potentials are huge. Maybe this doesn't mean that everything would be run on blockchain or things like that, but then again, if we have to imagine not only the smart contracts and the possibility to have this little transaction done at the same time, so everyone gets literally paid at the same time, but the potential of a decentralized database, because at the moment what we are missing the most is not even the transparency, but also literally one and only reliable source of information, and this is missing at the moment. And they tried to do a global database, but then the attempt failed because they couldn't agree on who was controlling it, and it's always a matter of power and who controls the data and who owns the data. Of course, if the data are not controlled, not owned by anyone, and at the same time they could be accessible by everyone, this point of failure is not there anymore. So I really see a potential with a huge and strong collaboration in between the various industry bodies to have finally a one and only database. So that has to be done. Then the rest, it comes after, because also if we were able to fix that problem at the moment, the situation would be so much better.
What you gonna do tonight? 'Cause the morning is so far away. Ignite the fire. You don't have to be afraid of whatever is inside. Oh. Open your